Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video, which is going to be the next episode in my You Do Not Need That series, where we're going to be talking about all of these tempting, spicy, glorious makeup releases and why you in fact don't need any of them. So if you are trying to cut back on makeup spending, if you are trying to save money, if you are trying to avoid FOMO, if you're on a no buy or a low buy, this is the video for you. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so as always in these videos, I have to start off with the old disclaimers, and I feel like every time I don't need to do that, you guys have got it, and then every time I don't do it, I get a lot of angry folk. So I am a beauty content creator. It is very likely that I either already have or will be reviewing a lot of the products that we're going to talk about in this video, but by no means does that mean that you have to or that you should. As I'm always saying to you guys, let me waste my money on mediocre makeup so that you can save yours for the really good stuff that you really want. That's my job. And in no way does that make any difference to any of the things that I'm going to tell you about in this video. So with that out of the way, I polled you guys this time on my Instagram stories. I asked you guys, what do you need help with? What do you need talking out of? What do you want included in this video? And so I'm going to make sure that I cover the most popular answers in this. As you can probably see with me just scrolling through here, there are two very popular answers in this poll. So I will of course be covering the Lisa Eldridge Holiday Collection and Danessa Myricks Lightworks 7 palette. Let's start there, shall we, as that was our most popular request. So the latest Danessa Myricks Lightwork 7 palette has left a lot of us aghast, gobsmacked, flabbergasted. And I think the reason why so many of us, including myself, instantly our eyeballs just burst out of our skulls is because a lot of us are a little more boring than Danessa Myricks' typical eyeshadows. I'm talking about myself, okay? I really want to try them. I really want to try these formulas. They look amazing. They look stunning, glorious, very impactful, off the scale, off the chart, off the planet, in fact, but scary, very colourful. And here she came along just before Christmas with what looks like a far more wearable for colour phobes and less exciting people who, you know, the biggest event they're going to on any given week is the Harvest Festival, a much more sort of user-friendly colour story for a lot of us. So of course that is incredibly tempting, especially if you've been waiting for this palette to come along, something that you feel you'll get a bit more use out of than something that is a bit too scary or too colourful for you. So that's why it's so tempting. Here's the thing, okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is boring, leave it, it's rubbish. That would be a lie, and we don't lie here. We speak the truth. We have the trust, okay? So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you don't bother, it's rubbish, I've seen it, it's terrible. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to suggest is do what I did today, okay? If this is really sucking you in, but that's a lot of money. Christmas is coming up, okay? Maybe you want to save your money for Christmas. Maybe you're trying to wait for a sale, whatever it is. What I would suggest that I did today, go into your existing makeup collection and look for your favourite palette. The palette that gets your blood pumping, stirs your loins, tickles your pickles. Get it out and use it today, and go, whether you're going to work, on the school run, running errands, going nowhere, I don't care. Okay, it's none of my business. What I want you to do is whack on your most stunning eyeshadow palette today. Use all of the shades, use your most impactful colours. It might be a Pat McGrath Mothership. It might be one of her holiday palettes. It might be, like mine, a Lisa Eldridge Desert Gleam Day. Go all in on your eyeshadow, on your most joyful, glorious palette that you love, that you know every time you use it, you just bathe in the glory of your own eyes. Go and get that out. Do your most impactful look that you know every time you do it gives you joy. Go and do that, and remember that you have a lot of glorious eyeshadow palettes already that you love to use. Maybe there's one that you haven't used for quite a long time. Go and put it on, and remember the makeup that you already have is just as exciting, just as beautiful, just as glorious, and for free. It's already in your drawer. Go and dig it out. So moving on, we're going to talk about this Lisa Eldridge holiday collection. It's a tricky one, okay? I won't lie to you. Anything with Lisa Eldridge on it, immediately yes, immediately yes. So I understand the struggle and I understand the temptation to add every single item to your basket and check out without a moment's thought. And then maybe later you're going to feel some buyer's remorse, some regret. Did you in fact need all of it? Probably not. Now again, a bit like the Danessa Myricks, I'm not going to sit here and tell you bold-faced lies that these aren't good products. Anything by Lisa Eldridge is going to be glorious, stunning. She makes incredible products. You know I'm a huge, big fan. Probably the #1 fan. But these products aren't new. So remember that these are not brand new products, and we are going to be getting brand new products from Lisa Eldridge in the next 6 months. These are simply new shades of existing products, okay? New shades of her liquid eyeshadows. You probably already have several of the existing shades. And how different are these new shades really going to be? The new shades look pretty, the existing shades also stunningly pretty. If you have some of them, maybe grab them, get them out. How often do you use them? Are they very, very different to these new shades? Similar things with the glosses. We have just new shades of existing products. Again, the Rouge Experience, we've got a lot of those already. We have shades of those that we love, that we can dig out, that we can use. We don't always need to get the new shades of everything, okay? We've had these products, we've tried them. They're not anything new. They're just new shades. And who really needs new shades? You know, you've got the old shades. They're glorious. Next up, let's talk about one of the most visually tempting releases that I've seen this year. It's this Hermes, what is it? Blush, highlighter, bronzer, palette. We don't know. It's kind of everything in one. And just to rub it in, they've slapped a horse on it, okay? A horse. A very hoity looking horse, to be honest with you. Now, here's the thing about this. I think looking at this, I talked about this in my Will I Buy It? This looks so beautiful. The horse, the stripes, the colours, everything about it is screaming luxury. It's screaming a visual treat. But if we've learned anything over the years, we've learned this. I genuinely believe that if you use this 3 times, it's going to look awful. I think you could probably use this 3 times. If you aren't going to be able to use these colours separately. There's no brush in the land small enough, unless you're doing an eyeshadow brush, in which case you'll be there for hours trying to colour your cheek in. You're going to swirl this together and it's going to look an utter mess within approximately 3 uses. The horse will be blurred and smushed, okay? You might not even be able to see that it's a horse anymore. It might take on the look more of a chimera, and that's terrifying. This also seems to consist of bronzer and blush in one place, and honestly that just never really works out. You can't bronze and blush at the same time. It's going to mix together. And if we really think about this with our brains, trying not to look directly at it, how exciting is this really? We have so many stunning blushes. I guarantee you've got very, very many bronzers. How exciting really is this? If we sort of pretended the horse wasn't there, which it won't be a few uses in, how exciting is it really? Not that much. Is it worth the same amount? I guarantee this is going to be the same price as a Mothership from Pat McGrath once you've taken off the 20% discount that comes around every 6 weeks. It's going to be the same price as that. Is this as necessary? Do you need this as much as you needed a Mothership? I feel like there's going to be so many more exciting things for this same amount of money. Easy pass. If you'd like to look at a glorious horse, have a walk around. They're everywhere in fields, just eating the grass for free, and you can just casually observe them. So, you know, maybe even pat one. You can't pat that horse. You'd ruin it. Next up, we're going to take a look at this Mario. Next up, we're going to take a look at this new Makeup by Mario. Next up, we're going to take a look at this new Ethereal eyeshadow. What is the problem here? Next up, we're going to take a look at this new Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette. What is she called? Nature. Now, this is easy, okay? There's a few things to note here. The previous Ethereal Eyes palette was very, very popular. This is not the same formula. That's #1. I've seen swatches, comparisons. Go and look at Morgan Turner's video. This one, not as pretty and impactful as the original. So that's #1. #2, look me in my eyes now. And remember, before you do this and lie to my face, we aren't lying to each other here. It's a two-way street. open and honest, okay? Tell me if you took that one green pan out of this palette that you would still be excited about it and want to buy it. One green pan. Cover that one up, if you will. I'm doing it now on my phone. Do it with me. Cover up that green shade. That literally looks like every single Nars eyeshadow palette for the last 10 years. It literally looks like any other palette that you already have 25 of. There's one shade in there that's making us think this is more exciting than it is. And we actually already have that shade in our collections, that one green shade that's slightly alluring. The rest of it, you might as well just use the original or any Charlotte Tilbury palette, any Nars palette going. You could absolutely get this look out of any Dior palette, any Chanel, like there's a million of these, okay? And you know it. You got tricked by that one green shadow, which they slapped in there for exactly this reason. Moving on. This is your reminder that we're now in the midst of holiday season for makeup releases. Things are coming out thick and fast. It's raining, not cats and dogs, but makeup releases, okay? So just please remember, if you've got a certain limited budget for makeup releases, don't go throwing it willy-nilly like you think you're in a strip club, okay? Calm down, because there's more coming constantly. It's an absolute barrage, okay? It's a tsunami of makeup just coming right at us. We need to get to higher ground. Take a pause. Stop throwing money at launches that are really not going to stand out in a few weeks' time, because more are coming, and you're going to wish you'd skipped. That Makeup by Mario palette is a classic example of something that in a few weeks' time you would have wished you didn't purchase because something more exciting came along, I promise. Next up, let's take a look at this Chantecaille holiday collection. Chantecaille are very, very clever. Like many brands now, they're on to us. They've realised, they've learned what makes us tick, what appeals to us, what makes us purchase mediocre makeup for big money. They've cracked the code and they've realised if we make it sparkly, if we make it shiny, if we make it have a beautiful embossing on it, they'll come, they will come. But not here. We've learned our lesson. We've got two very average releases here for a lot of English pounds, okay? We've got a blush that's got a bit of luminosity to it, pretty light, pinky blush. We've then got a highlighter, again, which Chantecaille bringing out highlighters for years and years. They're always pretty much the same. They're nice. They've never wowed me. They've never made it into like my all-time favourites list. I don't see them making onto many people's holy grails, top #1 spots. So I feel like the actual product, this is something that's really beautiful to look at, and they always throw everything at the packaging and the presentation to get us to buy it. But what's inside is going to be disappointing for the amount of money that you spent on it. And again, for £100 English for a blush or a highlighter, you can do so much better for that money. There's so many more exciting things. There's going to be sales galore. We've got the Sephora sale right around the corner. There'll be Black Friday sales coming around very, very quickly. For that money, you could have bought a lot more exciting things and got a lot more bang for your buck. This is something that is really attractive to look at, and on first opening of it will make your heart beat much, much faster. Might give you a palpitation. So, you know, if you want to risk that, that's on you. Next up, another very popular request in my Instagram stories poll, these new Patrick Tar palettes. Come on now. Stop it. You've got these already, okay? You've got drawers full of them. You've probably got Natasha Denonna's Bieber or maybe her new Sculpt palettes. Did you get Mini Sculpt? Why are you even looking at these? Why is this even a conversation? I've failed you. We've all gone wrong. I'm highly disappointed. You're going to have to do better than this, okay? These are 6-pan all matte eyeshadow palettes. Do they look nice? Do they look appealing? Yes. Has it been done before? Triple yes. And I am someone who really likes these. You know, you've heard me raving about the Natasha Denonna Sculpt palette. I am that boring that sort of palette really appeals to me. But even I can easily pass on these, okay? Once you've got one of these that you really, really love, you don't need any more. That's it. You're set for life, okay? And again, these are permanent. So even if this really is something that really speaks to you, like it does to me, like I said, I am this boring. I am this person who sees neutral matte eyeshadows and heart beats faster, okay? I'll admit it. I'll put my hands up. I'll say it. This is a safe space. But even I know that I only need one of these. They all do the same thing. I've got one that I really, really love. In fact, I've got 5, but I've got one that I love more than the others. it's enough slices. It does that one thing, okay? And I don't believe that these are going to be better or more exciting than those that I already have. And actually, you can do this same thing with bronzer, if you didn't know. Next up, we're going to talk about a very easy one. If this is not your first day here on my channel, if it is, welcome. So happy you're here. But if you've been here before, this is going to be an easy one. I don't even know why I'm including it, but I'm going to talk about these Charlotte Tilbury holiday palettes for those of you who didn't watch my review. Rude. I'm a very big Charlotte Tilbury fan. I'm also a huge cheek palette fan. Put those two things together, what could go wrong? You would think, okay? But I didn't like these. I didn't like them, and I really thought I would. And I've learned over the years reviewing makeup, I've learned that if you are expecting something to be really beautiful and you're really expecting to love it, it's easier to. So the fact that I was so confident that these were going to be stunning, I was going to love them, they were going to smash it out of the park and be some of my most used products, and then be so disappointed. I feel like if you didn't really have high hopes, you'll find them even less appealing than I did, which is, it hurts me to say, because this is just not really normal for me in Charlotte Tilbury releases. Her holiday collections typically are like the highlights of my life, certainly of my year. Okay, so this was shocking to me, but I don't like these. I find them too close to each other. I find a huge gap in the middle where a medium palette should be. I don't find them flattering. I feel like the combination is somewhat off. Both palettes have really terrible fallout from the eyeshadows throughout the day. I'm so disappointed in them. And that's something that I've never really experienced in Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows before. Even her singles, which are those really sparkly disco shadows, I've never had anything like this fallout. Maybe a bit when applying, but this literally, if you follow me on Instagram, I did a story at the end of the day after I'd reviewed these palettes. My face from like here to here was just covered in glitter that had just happened throughout the day, just fall off my eyeballs onto my cheeks all day long. I looked insane, okay? Like Harley Quinn, but she was off to New Year's Eve party. That's what I looked like at the end of the day, and it was too early for Halloween. I also find the blushes a little hard to work with, a little patchy, and neither really worked on my skin tone. So as I said in my review, the packaging of this is stunning. And a lot of us, you know, if you've been a big fan of Charlotte Tilbury makeup for a long time, you will blindly purchase this in the belief that you always love Charlotte Tilbury products, especially this type of product. But that was not the case for me. So please bear that in mind, because these are expensive, and if you're a huge Charlotte Tilbury fan, you're probably blind by them without a thought or a care in the world. And I hate the fact that I feel so many of you would be disappointed in these like I was. So please save your money. I feel like there's much better out there. I just don't feel like these lived up to the expectation or that stunning packaging, which no doubt is very, very beautiful, but we don't buy makeup for packaging here. That's like below us. We're better than that. We know what we're doing. We covered that in episode 1. Next up, we're going to talk about this YSL Blush palette. Now, when I first saw the photos of this, I thought this unquestionably was coming home with me. It's a blush palette for a start, which I'm a real sucker for. YSL, I loved their blush formulas, their all hours blush formulas, really big hit for me and a lot of you. So I thought, what can go wrong here? But then I did a little digging and found out what's actually in this palette. So for a start, we've got 3 of the highlighters, which I don't like. I did not like their highlighters. I found them heavy. I found they enhanced texture, and they just weren't flattering on me at all. And then we've got 3 shades of the blushes, which are already existing shades. Nothing new in here. So if you skipped on the highlighters and you skipped on the blushes, or you already own the blushes, you either already have what's in here, or you chose to skip on it previously, but have been lured in under false pretenses because they've all been stuck in one place and have a nice little packaging on them. Okay, so just remember that, bear that in mind. You passed on those blushes, or you already have them in your drawers. Either which way, we already said no to this, just in a different format. Next up, something that was actually really surprising to me was a common answer when I asked for requests for this video. Victoria Beckham's new foundation drops. I didn't see this coming. I didn't really expect this to be something that you guys were really, really excited for and wanted talking out of. So that was quite a surprise. But here we are. I haven't purchased or reviewed this foundation. I was put off quite a bit by the shades because the shade range isn't great. And I sort of took a look at the shades and thought, oh, I just don't feel like I can confidently choose a shade that's going to work for me. So I just decided to pass. It's a very, very expensive foundation. I had really low expectations of this. I don't necessarily know why, I just did. So it was an easy pass for me, but it obviously has been reviewing quite well. So I think that's where a lot of you guys' temptation is coming from for this foundation. It is undoubtedly reviewing well. So here's the thing. Again, I'm not going to lie to you and say this is rubbish, don't buy it. What I'm going to say to you instead is this is the case with any foundations. This is a permanent product. It's a very expensive permanent product, and the packaging is very lightweight and simple. You're not getting a lot of a luxurious experience with this. This is probably, from the looks of the reviews, a nice solid foundation. But as we know, foundations, I mean all makeup, but I feel especially base products, it's so subjective. There is no guarantee that because something is popular with people you watch or in a lot of reviews that it is going to work the same or as well for you, that you're going to like it. We have different skin types, different skin textures, different products that we use in combination with it, and just different preferences in general. So I would just always say when it comes to a foundation, it's a permanent product. If you already have 10 foundations, if you already have 3 or 4 foundations in your rotation, you don't need another one, okay, that you may or may not like, that's going to sit in a drawer and it's going to become 11 foundations or 5 foundations or 20 or more foundations that you don't necessarily love. I don't believe, if you're someone who tries a lot of foundations, that this one is going to be wildly different or wildly better than the others that you've already tried and that you already own. So my advice with any permanent makeup is never pay full price for permanent products. Wait for a sale, wait for an opportunity, wait until it's easy and you're not having to feel guilty or bad or prioritize something else, because this is still going to be there. It's actually kind of selling out in some places. So wait for the hype to die down. Give yourself the usual, what I recommend, couple of weeks cooling off period. If you're still really thinking about it, if you're still going through your foundations and thinking there's no foundations here I like, maybe this is the one, please at least wait for a sale. Please at least try and get shade matched, and at the very absolute best case scenario, go and try it on if you can in store, because it's so disappointing to spend £100 on something and then it comes and it's no different or better than what you already own, or maybe it's even worse and it actually just doesn't work for you, and that happens so often. So remember, this is permanent. It's not something you need to panic buy. It's not something you need to buy this week or today, because it's still going to be there. It's not going to go away. It's not limited edition. It's not going to run out anytime soon. Take your time, use what you have, remember what you love, remind yourself the reality and the likelihood of this being wildly, vastly different, and we can all live without it. And you know, that goes for any foundation, whether it's the Tom Ford that I've been loving, whether it's the new Natasha Denona foundation, the Makeup by Mario. Foundations are expensive, but they're a permanent product. We can all wait for a sale. We can all wait until we have a voucher. We can all wait until we've used up what we have. There's no rush. They're permanent. We don't need to panic. Next up, now I fear that we may be too late on this item for many of you, and I'm so sorry, but I thought it was worth including here because I did have a couple of requests to include this item, and it is still around. It's still around. Maybe some of you have resisted so far and you're feeling like crumbling. Let's talk about these Hourglass holiday palettes that get us every year. I get how hard these are to resist. They're so beautiful and everybody gets them and everybody raves about them. But here's the thing. Do you already have some? I bet you do. And again, don't lie to me. I bet you've already got some of these. And let's face it, yes, some of them have new shades in, but Hourglass powders, these palettes specifically, are so consistent. The texture, the finish, the look, the effect. They very rarely give us any shades at all that are very different to the previous years. A lot of them are the exact same shades. So again, if you already have 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 of these, use them. Use them. I bet you haven't hit pan yet. Okay, go and use them, dig them out, because the look and the effect that you get on the skin, whether you use the original OG palette, the Ghost palette, the Tiger, the Snake, or this year's palettes, you're going to end up with the Hourglass palette look. It's that gorgeous, glowy, filtered, soft focus look that really there's very little difference. Whether you use this year's palettes or last year's or 5 years palettes ago, you're going to end up with the same look. So instead of going broke for this year's palettes and buying all 3, because that's so normalized, because obviously content creators do that, and there is a good reason. We do comparisons and share which one, you know, works best or we like best on our skin, but it does make it feel like you're supposed to buy all 3 of them instead of just picking your favorite, and instead of just using the ones that you already own from the last 3, 4, 5 years that you already have, and you can enjoy just as much as you would if you got the ones from this year as well. So remember that the actual overall effect is going to be very, very similar just from using the ones that you already own. And finally, let's finish off with these Dior lip duos, which before I received these, I thought these were going to be one of the releases of the year, one of the launches of the year. I was so excited about these, and I've been really, really disappointed. So if you saw these, and like me, you saw the answer to all of our prayers, that these were going to compete with Chanel's Duo Tenue lipsticks, but perhaps in a more exciting, shiny, new packaging, they don't. Okay, they aren't as good in my humble opinion. Please watch my video review if you haven't already and you need more talking out of these, because these are just okay and they are expensive. They're not as exciting as they look. There are a lot of issues with them. You know, for a start, the sequin, you know, are you really going to wear that and use a completely sparkling lipstick outside of the next, you know, month or so? Probably not. Also, if you use the gloss, they are completely not transfer proof. They become any tinted gloss with a bit of pigment behind it, which we all already have, and that's not really what we were expecting or signing up, or what we thought was going to be special and exciting about these. Essentially, if you use all of the products in there, you're not getting anything special. If you were really excited about the sequin effect and you wanted to use the gloss completely disguises the sequin, so you're not even really getting that either. So that's my thing. These aren't as exciting as they perhaps looked on paper, I don't think. They're no match for the Chanel Duo Tenues. If you already have those, stick with those. In my opinion, they're much better, and they do what we thought these were going to do much better. And because they're not sparkly, they're much more wearable for more occasions and year round. So stick with those. We don't need these new Diors. They're not as exciting as they looked on paper. Okay, so there you have it. That is hopefully you all well and truly talked out of spending your money on these new, very tempting makeup releases. Please let me know all of your thoughts on these products. What is tempting you the most? What are you trying your hardest to avoid buying? Are you on a no buy or a low buy? You're just trying to cut back, or you're trying to prioritize and just keep a smaller collection? Please let me know in the comments section down below. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.